All right, West Coast, welcome back. For no particular reason, that was The Police with Roxanne. And for a very particular reason, and this is going to sound a little funny to regular listeners, I have Sebastian and Cameron?
Either or.
Either or. I have either or here in the studio. And they are here to perform for you. Well, not necessarily here in the studio. We're here in the studio to talk about performing for you for Death of a Clown. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
The show tomorrow, I'm pretty excited about it. Death of a Clown, born of a Fringe Festival show.
That's correct.
And mutated into so much more.
Absolutely, yeah. Over the course of about 5 years, it started off as a project that I wrote and developed when we were still back in university at the University of Victoria in the theater program there. And this is sort of the fourth incarnation of it. It's just sort of evolved into this giant sort of multimedia spectacular. Yeah.
So, before we get into what a multimedia spectacular is, let's talk about the humble roots. So, what's the kind of the core concept, maybe, or what should people really be thinking of? As
well, I guess the underlying theme, I guess, is sort of things like social conformity, not fitting in, and you know how sort of individuals struggle with that. And essentially, what the show is about is this clown who is just a ridiculous human being despite himself, and he's just sort of flopping around and slipping on banana peels and always doing all this ridiculous stuff. But his goal in life is to work his way up the corporate ladder, become an executive, and hopefully one day a CEO. So how does a clown, fulfill that dream? Is essentially the ridiculous premise of our show. And it's sort of just watching his journey and watching him work his way up, claw his way up the corporate ladder, and then in turn rebel against.
Eventually, it all comes tumbling down.
It does
by the hands of a woman, I understand, or love interest.
There's that aspect of it too. He sort of finds his other. He's sort of the only clown in this world of sort of corporate robots. Essentially, it's sort of like this alternate reality kind of thing.
Yes, alternate reality. There's
no corporate robots. No corporate robots here. No, land of the free and all that jazz. Anyway, so that's basically the underlying premise of the show.
All right. Well, that sounds like something that I think will fit the bill for a lot of West Coasters, Defeatians and Euclusians. A lot of us.
I hope so. It's been very popular so far. We performed it in Vancouver. We just got from Gabriola, and I guess Cam can tell you all about how it went in Gabriola.
Oh well, it's an interesting play because it's not for everyone. The people that like it really like it.
They love it.
We had standing ovations in Gabriola.
Yeah,
really resonated with a lot of people. But we also had walkouts.
Yeah.
We had quite a few walkouts.
Yeah.
This play is offensive. It's hard hitting. It pushes a lot harder than a lot of what you're going to see. I mean, Sebastian and I, we're relatively young guys. We grew up with shows like South Park, guys like Jon Stewart, and
absolutely, Stephen
Colbert, just not afraid to push as hard as they possibly can.
Yeah.
So that's sort of become the norm. And so what Sebastian has written is just horrifyingly offensive, but I think in a good way. I think
I think it is a good way. Like, I just you think of the stereotypical theater fan as middle-aged or whatever,
and that's the mold that we're trying to break. Right? Like, we're not. We're trying to do something different.
Fringe festivals as a concept have always been that kind of modern generation.
And
to have a show like that actually hit the road and maybe get beyond that fringe market and into other people, I guess, is where it becomes more than a fringe show. It becomes offensive and maybe boundary pushing.
Well, that's the thing, because this isn't like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. This isn't Tennessee Williams. This isn't Shakespeare. This is something very different, and it's socially conscious and it's edgy and it's hilarious, but it's not afraid to sort of be ridiculous and sort of be in your face, but all in sort of good natured fun, all in the name of hilarity and satire.
Good,
basically,
good. I was hoping originally that we could have a bit or something halftime, but I guess we don't have the right.
Well, we're the whole cast except for us two is loading in the set. We've got this giant set projection.
You guys
screen.
got the hard work.
So we've got to come chat on the radio. So they're all putting everything back together now. We've got to go do our tech run and rehearse all the musical numbers and so that's when we say multimedia.
Yeah, let's talk about the multimedia.
There's 7 musical numbers in the show. There's a live band that underscores the entire thing. We got this awesome duo that play every instrument that you can think of over the course of the show, and then of course there's this giant projection screen which sort of functions as our backdrop and a big part of our set. All these sort of visual images. There's we integrate video. So it's different sort of facets of technology coming together in this under the veil of live theater.
Cool. I'm going to steal your notes here, make sure that we get the information right for everyone.
Absolutely.
Because we want people to show up. First of all, the theater's not that big, folks, so you may want to pick up your advance tickets, which are, first off, available around town at Common Loaf, Mermaid Tales Bookshop, and Tofino Sea Kayaking, all in Tofino, and down in Ucluelet, it's Wild Heather Books, the usual places you get tickets for events around here. Advance tickets are $15 for students and seniors, $18 for adults, $20 at the door, and this is all taking place tomorrow evening. That's tomorrow, Tuesday, March 23rd, in case you don't have a calendar in front of you, at 8 p.m. at the Clackwood Sound Community Theater. So again, this theater seats about 70, and these things like this tend to sell out. So go get yourself tickets fast. You guys have anything at the end you want to say?
You're going to love the show. It's hilarious, and don't bring your kids.
Don't bring your kids, and maybe not your grandparents, unless they're really
some of the grandparents I've met around here are pretty cool,
Yeah.
so they might dig it. They might get it.
All right.
Yeah, I think so. I got faith in them.
Bring your funky grandparents.
Bring your funky grandparents. Bring your funky selves.
I guess if you don't mind having a kid's mind expanded, maybe a little too early.
Hey, that's up to the parents.
That's up to you.
That's up to the parents.
All right. We do have a particular reason for the song we're going to finish this with. I mean, obviously the title explains itself, but you said that maybe there was a time that the song had something sort of to do with the early creation.
It definitely sort of influenced the creation of the show to the point that I in this incarnation, we had to put the song in the show because it was such an imperative thing.
And all rights reserved and all that.
Oh, yeah. We paid up the yin-yang. All right. Legal here.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Sebastian, Cameron. I'll let you guys run off and do some heavy lifting with the rest of the crew, and
Thanks.
I look forward to checking out the show.
All right.
This is The Kinks, or these are The Kinks, I suppose, with Death of a Clown.